can we get pictures of you before you go? Because we were on a boat, and they brought in another boat to take her and her hair and makeup people, and she was like, yeah. So we took like one last little quick shot, and then everyone was like, can I get it? She was like, yo, I'll see you. Come on, we're gonna be doing the Grammys. We're gonna do all the award shows. So don't even worry about it. We'll get it then. And we were all like, you promise? And she was like, yeah, come on. So it was just like, okay, cool.
Yeah, tell people about that. It ain't just Aaliyah. And stop acting like you and Aaliyah was all this lovey-dovey, because Rachel Roy was pregnant when you was over there sneaking around with Aaliyah, nigga. Don't act like Rachel wasn't your girl. She was pregnant when Aaliyah was running around with you. And then Aaliyah died and you went and married Rachel. But don't act like homeboy ain't have Rachel first.
You might want to grab a seat for this one, cause what's coming up could shake everything you thought you knew. The truth didn't stay buried with Aaliyah. It just clawed its way back up, and now her own close circle is leaking stuff nobody's ever heard before. We're talking about receipts, like an actual ultrasound and a DNA test, pointing to what some fans been whispering for years. Aaliyah was allegedly pregnant, and not by just anybody. The word on the street is, it was Jay Z. Yeah, that's what they're saying now. Things are getting real shady. Sources claim this pregnancy wasn't just some hush-hush situation. It was a serious issue behind the scenes, one they allegedly didn't want to let see the light of day. And now the whispers are turning into full-blown accusations that her tragic plane crash might not have been an accident at all. Some are saying it was a setup to silence her for good. And the craziest part? When you start lining up the strange interviews, the weird energy in certain relationships, and the powerful industry folks who had way too much at stake if the truth came out, it starts looking real suspicious. Let's break it all down. Nadine Ellis. Yeah, that Nadine, the dancer from Aaliyah's legendary Rock the Boat video, was right there on set in the Bahamas when everything went down. And according to her, something just didn't sit right. In an old interview that recently resurfaced, Nadine talked about the moment she found out Aaliyah had passed. But it's what she said after that had people stunned into silence.
Was I shocked when Jay said the line in Picasso Baby? Yes, because we've talked about that. We have a history that supersedes music. And we know how this business works. We sit back and we laugh at those rumors. We laugh at that. I think he began to feel the pressure because people were saying my age, the age thing. She was 15, 14. She was 15, 14. And after a while, that gets to a person. The Jay I know, the Sean I know, never comes out of character.
She dropped a heavy line, hinting that Aaliyah had way more going on with certain powerful men in the industry than anybody ever knew. And the way she said it, the message was loud without saying names. Screamed Jay Z. Allegedly, there were secret phone calls, late-night meetups, and a connection between them that was way deeper than anyone realized. And all of it was kept far away from public eyes.
Aaliyah is key to everything. Aaliyah and I were very serious. We talked about getting married, so I know exactly what went on.
22-year-old rising star Aaliyah has been killed in a horrific plane crash.
It's a pain that you couldn't understand.
It changed you, turned you into a monster. When Dame was at his lowest, Jay committed the ultimate betrayal.
Plane crash should be accidental.
Why would any testimony about what happened leading up to it need to be covered under a non-disclosure agreement if there wasn't foul play? She was unconscious.
Nadine didn't call anyone out directly, but let's be real. The music industry ain't that big. And once fans heard her speak, they started putting two and two together real quick. She was unconscious. But what comes next? Wild doesn't even begin to cover it. You gotta decide for yourself what to make of this one, because way before Beyoncé took the crown as Queen Bee, before Dangerously in Love even dropped, Jay Z allegedly had his eyes locked on someone else. And it wasn't just a passing crush. The word is, he was obsessed with Aaliyah. According to whispers floating around the industry and deep fan forum threads, Jay was making real moves to get with Aaliyah before Dame Dash came in and locked it down. Multiple insiders say Jay felt like he lost her to Dame, and that might have sparked a quiet rivalry that never really died. Back then, Beyoncé was still a rising teen star with Destiny's Child just getting started. But Jay Z? He was already plotting big moves, thinking about legacy and long-term power. Getting with Aaliyah, who was already killing it in fashion, music, and pop culture, would have been a game changer. A true power couple. But if she really was pregnant, that would have flipped everything. His plans, his image, his whole future, it all would have been at risk. But listen, things start getting icy real fast, because some fans believe Aaliyah being pregnant could have messed up Jay Z's entire master plan. He was already building his empire, and Beyoncé? She was the polished, picture-perfect match, young, talented, and the church girl turned superstar that the media loved. But let's keep it real for a sec, just 1 second. If Aaliyah was pregnant, the timing lines up too neatly with the rumors about her and Jay Z. And that's when fans started connecting dots. Dots that maybe weren't meant to be connected. If that truth ever got out, could have blown up an entire brand.
So like he felt bad because he really felt like I violated or I was going to leak that nigga, I was the nigga that when you was with Aaliyah and was running around holding hands with Aaliyah way before Dame.
Oh, you used to be with us at Jason Williams' crib.
Now here's where it gets even darker. Allegedly, Jay Z had to make a move, and it wasn't about love. It was about protecting himself, about survival. There's real talk out there saying her death wasn't some freak accident. Think about it, a young, healthy icon who hated flying, by the way, just happens to die in a plane crash? Right after she might have found out she was pregnant? And that plane? Multiple people close to her have spoken out. They're saying things that only make this whole story even more suspicious. Her makeup artist, her dancers, even her close friends. Everybody knew Aaliyah didn't mess with small planes. She avoided them like the plague. So when she suddenly boards a sketchy little aircraft in the Bahamas, people were instantly like, hold up, why? But it gets even more disturbing. Eyewitnesses say Aaliyah didn't even want to get on that plane. Reports claim she argued with the crew, saying the plane felt way too heavy and unsafe. She knew something was off. And then came the bombshell. A local Bahamian man named King Lee Russell, who was there that day, dropped a claim that shook the internet. He said Aaliyah wasn't just uncomfortable, she was unconscious. According to him, she was either sedated or straight up knocked out before being loaded onto that plane. Like, not even awake. That crash might have never even been something she agreed to. And since we're talking about her final days, let's look at the timeline. Aaliyah was supposed to fly out to Miami to meet with Dame Dash and a few other artists. But then, her plans got pushed. Allegedly, she was told she had to stay an extra day to shoot more for the Rock the Boat video. And that delay changed everything. So who made the call that kept Aaliyah in the Bahamas an extra day? Reportedly, it was none other than Hype Williams. Now, nobody's pointing fingers directly at him, but some folks are saying that delay changed everything. Here's what's wild. Aaliyah didn't even want to get on that plane. People close to her said she was exhausted and flat out didn't trust the jet. She felt something was wrong. Some even claim she spoke up, saying she wasn't comfortable flying on that aircraft at all. And here's where it really gets strange. Lenny Kravitz, yes the Lenny, had offered her his own private plane, but in a mysterious twist, someone else ended up using it. To this day, nobody's come forward with a clear answer about who took that flight, or why Aaliyah didn't. Doesn't that sound off? Like, how does a safer, available jet get handed off to someone else while she's left with a ride she didn't even feel safe on? People are still asking the same question. Was this just a tragic mix-up, or was something bigger going on behind the scenes? Starting to look like more than just bad luck, like somebody was sending a message. Everything from the delay to the sketchy plane switch to the mystery around her condition, it all lined up in the worst way possible. And this is where the Jay Z angle takes a dark turn. Allegedly, he was already seeing Beyoncé in secret while still dealing with Aaliyah on the side. And if the rumors are true that she was pregnant, that kind of scandal would have destroyed his whole empire before it ever took off. So now fans are asking the question out loud. Was this really just a tragic accident or something way more calculated? That plane? It was overloaded. The pilot? Not even properly licensed. And the crash? It happened almost immediately after takeoff.
I don't know. I wouldn't know how he's feeling. Like, I would hope he would think about it and this would be in his mind, but I wouldn't actually know what another person is feeling at this time. You just can think that this person knows and thinking about it and stuff like that. I really want to know.
So nah, people aren't buying the just a mistake story anymore. It's giving sabotage. It's giving someone made damn sure she never came back from that trip. And now folks are pointing fingers, wondering if this fits a pattern. Because when it comes to Jay Z, some say the red flags go way back. And the timing of it all? Too perfect to be random. Now let's talk about Jay Z's image. Because Aaliyah wasn't the only one allegedly caught up in a secret pregnancy scandal. Enter Ramir Satterthwaite. Ramir has been fighting for years, claiming that Jay Z is his biological father. His mom, Wanda, says she had a fling with Jay back in the early 90s when she was still a teenager. Not long after, she gave birth to Ramir. But here's the thing, Jay Z has never taken a paternity test. Not once. And when legal teams actually tried to make it happen, the vibe shifted quick. What started as pressure turned into tension and then real beef. That beef ended up cracking Rockefeller Records right down the middle. After that, Dame Dash and Jay Z couldn't even look each other in the eye. Ever again. And right in the middle of all that chaos, Aaliyah. Everybody remembers the scandal with R. Kelly. The marriage certificate saying she was 18 when she was really just 15? That was a red flag bigger than all the rest. R. Kelly eventually got exposed for everything, but somehow, despite all of that, Jay Z still thought it was a good idea to team up with him at the time. Seriously, why? Jay didn't just work with R. Kelly once. He teamed up with him for 2 full albums and even went on tour. Meanwhile, Dame Dash, who was actually in love with Aaliyah, wanted nothing to do with R. Kelly at all. In interviews, Dame straight up said he couldn't even watch the best of both worlds' music videos. That's how real the pain was. But Jay? He was out here chasing the bag no matter the cost, prioritizing money over morals. And fans didn't miss that. To them, it looked like a huge betrayal. Like, how can you claim to be someone's brother, knowing full well what Aaliyah went through with R. Kelly and still go out there and make business moves with the same guy? That don't sit right with a lot of people. And yeah, we gotta go there. Because fans have been talking loud about the men who surrounded Aaliyah, and there's another layer to this that makes folks uncomfortable, her own family. Something about their role in all this just doesn't add up, and people have questions that still haven't been answered. Comment went viral not long ago, claiming Aaliyah's father was furious when he found out she had secretly married R. Kelly. And honestly, that lines up with what a lot of folks already believed. But then comes the part that really shakes people. Allegedly, Aaliyah's dad was offered rights to R. Kelly's early music catalog in exchange for staying quiet. Instead of taking R. Kelly to court or publicly calling him out, he was supposedly given a business deal to keep the heat off. And some fans see that as the ultimate betrayal, like he sold out his own daughter's safety for a slice of the industry pie. But it doesn't stop there. During court testimony, one of R. Kelly's other victims, Lizette Martinez, made a disturbing claim. She said not only did Aaliyah's mom know about the mistreatment, but that she allegedly had her own inappropriate relationship with R. Kelly. Now, Aaliyah's mother has always denied anything sexual ever happened between Aaliyah and R. Kelly. But at this point, way too many people are telling versions of the same story. What's left is a painful, twisted picture. A teenage girl caught in the middle of grown adults who should have protected her. Instead, she was surrounded by predators, enablers, and people chasing power and money, even from within her own circle. It's heartbreaking. She was failed by her label, failed by the men around her. and maybe, just maybe, even failed by her own family. That's what the streets are saying, and it's getting harder to ignore. But here's where it goes from tragic to downright chilling, because word is, R. Kelly didn't just marry Aaliyah to cover up their relationship. He allegedly got her pregnant while she was still just a teen. And that marriage? It wasn't for love. It was reportedly a way to make the pregnancy look legal. And then that pregnancy, according to whispers, it was quietly terminated. No press, no records, all handled behind the scenes like it never happened. And if you thought Jay Z and Dame Dash were the only ones moving like they had claims on Aaliyah, think again. Timbaland, yep, him, dropped a bomb years ago. In an interview, he flat out admitted he was in love with Aaliyah. And he wasn't talking about no brother-sister type love. He wasn't just inspired by her. He confessed it. Straight up. Said he had feelings for her he had to keep bottled up. Like he'd been carrying that weight in silence the whole time. And people were shocked. Timbaland was a grown man, and Aaliyah was barely 16. Let that sink in. He even admitted he had to remind himself not to act on his feelings, and said he forced himself to treat her like a little sister. That's not just weird, that's unsettling. But it gets even weirder. His ex-wife, the one he married later? Fans couldn't ignore the resemblance. She looked just like Aaliyah. Same vibe, same face, same aura. Comparisons were instant. People were like, wait, was he trying to recreate Aaliyah through his own wife? That shook people up. Heavy. Now imagine all that strange tension going on behind the scenes while Aaliyah was just trying to live her life. But this rabbit hole goes even deeper, because there were two other women who caught heat for allegedly not playing by Jay Z's behind-the-scenes rules. Foxy Brown and Maya. Let's start with Foxy. For years, rumors swirled that Jay Z was messing with her when she was only 15 or 16. Foxy has always denied it. She's gone on record saying she was never involved with him like that. But the rumors, they just won't die. And then there's that viral quote, the one that claimed Jay Z was the one who took Foxy's V card. That quote's been floating around online for years. And whether it's real or not, it's kept fans talking. She was booked to work with Jay Z, but allegedly called out his unprofessional behavior on set. Something about him being all ego, needing control, and not being used to a woman telling him no. And right after that, boom, she gets iced out. Suddenly, she's labeled difficult, bougie, hard to work with. Sound familiar? It's giving sabotage. It's giving calculated takedown. And fans are convinced Jay Z was behind it. Allegedly, if he can't control you, he'll destroy you. But here's where things take a dark turn. What if Aaliyah wasn't just on the edge of her biggest career moment, but on the verge of speaking out? People close to her, friends, family, even Dame Dash, have dropped hints over the years that Aaliyah was ready to take her power back. Maybe she was planning to speak her truth. Maybe she was ready to start a new life, build a family, and finally name names. And if that had happened, it would have crushed the carefully built careers of the men who depended on her silence. The whole empire could have crumbled, and that possibility has people asking some serious questions. Jay Z, R. Kelly, Timbaland, Dame Dash, they all had something major to lose if Aaliyah ever broke her silence. Whether it was about messy relationships, power plays behind the scenes, or dark industry secrets, her truth could have set off a full-blown explosion. So now, when you step back and really look at the full picture, it makes you wonder, was Aaliyah silenced before she ever got the chance to speak? Because if even half of what's been whispered is real, this isn't just some music scandal. This would be one of the biggest cover-ups in the history of the industry. Period. So now we gotta ask, what do you think? Is the internet just spinning wild theories, or is the truth finally crawling out after being buried for too long? Let's talk about it. Sound off in the comments. Are the streets onto something? Are these whispers actually facts hiding in plain sight? And if you thought this was deep, wait till you check the next video on your screen. Goes even further. Hit that like, smash subscribe, and keep digging, 'cause the truth, it's louder than ever.